Dogen writes, "The sixth awakening is to practice meditation. To abide in Dharma without being confused is called stability in meditation." The Buddha said, "If you gather your mind, it will abide in stability. Then you will understand the birth and death of all things in the world. You will continue to endeavor in practicing various aspects of meditation. When you have stability, your mind will not be scattered. It is like a well-roofed house or a well-built embankment, which will help you maintain the water of understanding and keep you from being drowned. This is called stability in meditation." I find this really interesting. Similar to the one with mindfulness, where there was all this language about armor. Here we have this suggestion that to abide in stability, to practice meditation, is to somehow fortify your surroundings, to keep yourself safe, to guard yourself from something. And in this, we see the kind of interesting evolution of Zen. All this language is when Dogen is quoting the Buddha. The Buddha is saying, fortify your mind. The Buddha is saying, protect yourself. That's very much the voice that we hear when we look deep, deep, deep into the history of Buddhism, into those foundational teachings. We're kind of building something. We want to make it really, really strong. But Zen is not just Buddhism. Zen is a child of Buddhism and Taoism to a great extent. And Taoism doesn't talk like this. Taoism doesn't say fortify your mind. Here at the end it says, it's like a well-built embankment which will help you maintain the water of understanding and keep you from being drowned. In Taoism, the imagery isn't of keeping the water out. It's of riding the current. Saying, okay, if there's water, there's water. I'll float. And so just as with the discussion of mindfulness, what I want to say here is that I agree with all of this, and the language, it doesn't speak to what we're doing, not really, not exactly. So I want to clarify this a little bit. The sixth awakening is to practice meditation. Okay, this is the meditation school. This is what we're doing all the time. To abide in Dharma without being confused is called stability in meditation. Stability. What does it look like to be confused? I know what it looks like to be confused. It doesn't look like abiding in stability. My eyes dart around, my mind darts around. It feels like things aren't solid. I'm trying to make sense of things. I'm trying to put things in place in an order that I can understand. And so I go over here, and I go over here, and I go over here. Which for many of us on many days is what meditation is. We get to observe it maybe a little more, but we're seeing our minds go here, here, here. If these awakenings are the awakenings of adults, then the sixth awakening says that adults know how to be where they are. They know how to stay. What does that look like? We know. Because we do this practice, because we sit in meditation, and whether we think we're good at it or bad, we know that it is composed of a single action of coming back. We drift and we come back. We grasp at something and then we come back. We step to push something away and then we come back. Always coming back to here. Always coming back to where we are. It sounds beautiful to abide in that stability, to never push, to never pull. That's nice. That's the image that's being drawn here. I think that's rarely how we experience it. We taste stability, and we taste it in that act of return. The question raised here by Dogen and by the Buddha is, how do you build that house? How do you build that embankment so that you will not drown? So that you do not be consumed by whatever it is that seems to be in front of you, whether it's something external or whether it's the thing in your mind that's pulling. How do we not drown in that? Not just in meditation, but in every moment of the day. One way is to try to protect yourself. I'm saying I don't think that's the way. The real way not to drown is to let go of the idea that there's an outside and an inside. The real way not to drown is not to panic. The real way not to drown is not to try to swim harder against the current that's pulling you. It's to simply be here, in this, whatever this is, not because this is the best thing, not because this is how we want it, not because we have some philosophy that says, oh, everything is just as it should be, not because it can't be better. But because it is as it is now. And to push that away or to pull it toward you, to try to reshape it, to try to reposition yourself from it, is to be in confusion. It's to insist that things are not as they are, that this moment is not as it is, even though it could be something different later. When we sit on this cushion, we know, at least for a few minutes at a time, we know what it is to choose this. We know what it is to let the world do what it's doing without trying to act on it, without fighting it, without trying to shape it. If you've ever run in the rain, in a rainstorm, trying to get out of it, and had a moment when you realized, I should just stop. I'm not changing anything by running. That moment of stopping is what we do. We stay here and we just get soaked to the bone. Because when it's raining, it's raining. Even just sitting here breathing, you understand that there's a kind of anchor that you can drop. That it's okay. Even if only for a few seconds, it's okay to be right here. Stability in meditation is just this. To let things be, to let yourself be. To let others be. Without chasing, without protecting, without building, without tearing down. Coming back to this breath, to this posture, to this place, this body, this air, these thumb tips touching. When we talk about taking meditation off the cushion, it's exactly that. Minus the thumb tips. It's choosing for your feet to be where your feet are. It's choosing for the air you breathe to be the air that you're breathing. So simple. So counter to what our minds want to do. Important, I think. Worth it. I'll stop there.